much like many dog people, you know what I mean? Like I from day one, I just had a super innate interest in animals. Anything that was animals, I was like I was one of those kids that if I found a kitten, I'm bringing them home. I found a litter of kittens underneath a barn somewhere, I'm bringing the whole thing home. I found a snake, I'm bringing it home. Dogs, and my mom was not with none of that. So you know what I mean? I had to make do on my own. So I would start by, training the dogs in my neighborhood. So in order to do that, I had to learn things people weren't learning about dogs. I had to go and read stuff that people weren't really reading. You know what I mean? So I didn't read just the breed specific books, or you know what I mean, or how to draw a dog. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like I had to go like really dig in, and it kind of like got my interest in it so deep, man, that by the time I was maybe 16, I had my first real dog that was my own dog. You know what I mean? I got an apartment a year later. I bred that dog a year later, and it kind of led to the path that, you know what I'm saying, that I'm on now. I've done breeding for um, maybe 20 years, you know what I mean? But training for longer than 20 years, yeah.
Wow. So let me ask you this. So I'm from the hood. It's funny, I be learning so much though. Where I'm from, we don't got wild boars. The only dogs we had in my neighborhood was Dobermans, German Shepherds, Pit Bulls, and Rottweilers. And
Yeah.
it wasn't no other dogs. I
Yeah.
never knew that dogs was hunting like that.
Yeah. Yes. So me neither. So coming from that element, right? My view of what I needed in dogs was a little bit different until I kind of like branched out and I learned that dogs were doing different jobs. You know what I'm saying? I learned what dogs were capable of. Because like you said, there was just those dogs in the hood, right? There was just German Shepherds, there was Dobermans, you know what I'm saying? Rottweilers came, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Everybody had a pit bull or something like a pit bull, you know what I'm saying, at that time, you know what I mean? And then just little mutts here and there, you know what I mean? Um, but I grew my understanding of everything, right? Not just about the dog that I like. You know what I'm saying? I grew my understanding of, how dogs are created, how dogs have jobs, you know what I'm saying? The psychology of dogs, you know what I'm saying? I you know what I'm saying, I've been deep into all of that stuff over this time, you know what I'm saying, over my time in dogs, man.
So when you first started out, like when you first started breeding, who was like your foundation dogs? Did you try to do purebred dogs and then you said, okay, I'm gonna switch to what you're doing now? Or how did you start out?
Yeah, so when I first started out, like I said, I started with American Bulldogs. I had a super nice American Bulldog. I had gotten lucky enough to get a litter, figure out which one fit me the most, which is a super important thing. I didn't know how important that was at the time, though. You know what I mean? And then I got another American Bulldog, and that was it. You know what I'm saying? There was not much thought to it. I had a male and I had a female. I know people bought puppies. You know what I'm saying? That's really that's really, as far as breeding went, that's really all I understood at that moment. But I did have a super understanding of how to whelp puppies, how to build a whelping box. This is before the internet and all that kind of stuff. Just books, seeing people try and fail and all that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Um, so my first approach to breeding was, just kind of purebreds. You know what I'm saying? I really didn't understand breeding the way that I do now. And even, growing up in the hood, you don't have patience for trying to do it the right way all the time. You know what I'm saying? You don't really learn patience in the hood. You know what I mean?
It's like quick microwave.
Yeah. So, but I am competitive though, right? So I went and saw another American Bulldog. A friend of mine had another American Bulldog, and his American Bulldog was not what my American Bulldogs were. It was something different. It was special. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, it kind of like woke me up into understanding that, okay, if my American Bulldog,
did you have Scott or Johnson?
I had Johnson American Bulldog. So at that time in Missouri, the Scots American Bulldogs weren't that popular in Missouri. You know what I mean? It was just the Johnson. He had brought a hybrid. That was the first hybrid I had ever seen. You know what I'm saying? It was like a Johnson Scott, and it was nice. It was nice. But it was my first introduction to the idea that if his American Bulldog and my American Bulldog were loose together, and there was a female American Bulldog, his American Bulldog would have won that American Bulldog, right? You know what I'm saying? We kind of introduced him to the idea of breeding for purpose and stuff, and these things, you know what I'm saying, which I started to do down the line when I got into like Rottweilers and other breeds, you know what I mean?
Wow. So because one thing from my research, American Bulldogs is very versatile. You can lose them for guardians, right? They can even do livestock guardians too, right? And they can hurt, right? Like
Oh yeah. So they are they are super versatile dogs. They're tough to train. You know what I mean? The ones that I've dealt with, and I hate to say that, right? I hate to like break down of one breed and say this breed is tough to train. Just the ones that I've had my hands on, because in breeding, when I go towards breeding, there are some breed specific things that I look for. Weight, hair length, maybe, you know what I'm saying, like athleticism, maybe, you know what I'm saying. I know better than to add some greyhound if I don't want a dog that's going to want to run all the time, you know what I mean. But if I found a greyhound that came from a family of dogs that possessed all the things that I needed, I would kind of like breed for those characteristics more so than the breed. So I hate kind of like saying American Bulldogs are stubborn. So American Bulldog people, if y'all watching, don't, you know what I'm saying, don't be mad. You know what I'm saying, but that I fell in love with that breed, and years later I brought it back and incorporated it into my breed.
That's amazing, man. For those who don't be watching the playback, I'm Jalik once again, K9 students. We bringing back the working breeders. I don't care what nobody say. We got to balance it out. Everything is pet. They trying to weaken everything up. All these little rules about certain tools you can't use. I do my part as much as I can, as no matter how small or big my channel is. We got to have the working breeders out there. So like I said, I appreciate you coming on. So you had the Johnson American Bulldog. So it's amazing that you even had the concept to want these dogs to have a job. Like that's great, because like all I see now is people just selling dogs based off color and size. Oh, this dog is 198 pounds and he's this color and this color. Okay, so what can you do? You get tired after 2 seconds, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So my thing about that though is, if you got a 195-pound dog that really is capable and it fits your life, you know what I mean, then I'm all right with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm okay with a capable dog, you know what I'm saying, that actually fits your life. You know what I'm saying? The same thing for a 40-pound dog, right? That's capable and fits your life. You got a 40-pound dog and you ain't really like that dog is gonna suffer. You know what I'm saying? So, and the same for a 190-pound dog. If you're not really like that, the dog is gonna suffer. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm a super active person. I'm a super driven person, right? So once I kind of got into this direction, I knew that I wanted dogs that fit my lifestyle. I didn't just want a mean dog. I didn't just want a working dog. It had to also be capable to keep up with me and do the things that I'm doing and fit my lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like a working dog, for me to have a working dog and it just be a working dog and just kind of sit in my backyard, that's a whole different conversation. You know what I'm saying? Than when you're talking about my actual dogs. You know what I mean? So, you know.
So who are some of your favorite breeds to work with?
Oh man, I love the American Pit Bull Terrier, because it's kind of like, it kind of got me into dogs. If you're from the hood, that's the dog that kind of got most of us into dogs. But now these days, I love herders, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I love the Miles, I love the Dutchies, but I even love Border Collies, you know what I'm saying? I love all of, you know what I'm saying? I love working with all of those dogs for the particular type of stuff that I do in my life. Now, so as far as like my personal protection dogs, because all three of my dogs are personal protection dogs. Moon is professionally trained by me, but she is certified.
Is that the one in the picture?
No, that's Soma. He's getting there. He's her son. He's getting there.
Okay.
But for those dogs, I have a pit bull in there. I have some Malinois in there. I have some American Bulldog in there, and some Pressa in there.
So let me ask you this, because it's a thing where, and I love pit bulls too, but the urban myth is that pit bulls aren't good for personal protection. So what are your favorite versions? Is it the Sorrel's line, the Ribboy? Like, can you break that down a little bit?
So, in my dogs, there's Sorrel's dogs. In my dogs, I personally, like I said, I'm the kind of person, I'm going to go see the dogs in the family of dogs, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be a famous line. I need this particular family of dogs to possess these traits. If it does, then that's what I'm going to go with. If it doesn't, then it just doesn't. I don't care what name it is or what, you know what I'm saying? Like, there are some families, like the Sorrel's family is pretty consistent. It's super consistent. So you can go to somebody who has those dogs and have a pretty good chance of getting a good dog. But what I looked for in the dogs that I used in my particular dogs were like, I went to a particular family of dogs that all possessed these particular traits. They were all, I owned Moon's grandpa, her grandmother, and her dad. And they all, the whole, a lot of the dogs, the more aggressive dogs in that family were all human aggressive, right? But they were super smart dogs though at the same time. And so that's why I chose them. I didn't choose them because of the name behind them. I chose them because I could spot a granddad, a grandma, an uncle, a brother, a cousin who are all human aggressive but highly controllable, right? I want a dog from that family. It's kind of like what I went and did. The same with the Malinois that I used to create Moon. Those dogs were amazing, man. And I had a bunch of choices, a bunch of options, even with the American Bulldog that I used to create Soma. I had a bunch of options at that time, but I kind of like wanted to spot a family of dogs that gave me the size, but still had all of the same characteristics that I need to put into my dog. You know what I mean? So I never really kind of like, I'm a fan of certain bloodlines and all that kind of stuff, but that doesn't really, if the dog doesn't possess the thing that I need, that doesn't really matter to me. You know what I'm saying?
That's what a lot of people don't realize. So Moon in that picture right there, this is RogueWolfProject. He giving some amazing information for not just for me, because like I said, I'm a student. I'm learning a lot. Dog too. So Moon is American Pit Bull, and what else is she mixed with?
Belgian Malinois. Moon is just technically a bull herder. Just technically a bull herder. Okay. Yeah. But
protection, though.
You say what?
She does protection.
Oh yeah, Moon's no joke, man. Yeah. Moon's no joke. Yeah.
I heard that's part of your project. You like the scientists on this joy. Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know. They think your dog has to be, like you said. Once again, it's a perception out there that they think your dog has to be giant to be a personal protection. How much does Moon weigh?
Moon's probably 50 pounds, maybe when she's not in good shape. You know what I mean? She's probably 50 pounds. So my thought on that is that it depends, right? It kind of depends. Maybe your dog does have to be big if you are a submissive person, maybe, or if you're a person. If Moon goes, I'm going too. She's big enough. You know what I mean? So Moon is my better personal protection dog. Soma is no joke, right? But Soma's dangerous. I hope I never have to use Soma for personal protection. You know what I'm saying? I hope that situation never comes up. You know what I mean? But
that's his mom. Moon is his mom.
Moon is Soma's mom. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So how do you create that? So you have Moon, which is bull herder, pit bull, Malinois, and how did you create? Who's Soma's sire?
Right on. Good question. I want to shout them out. If y'all see this, Southpaw Kennels on Instagram has a dog named Zorro. Bad. He is bad. One of probably the best American Bulldog I've ever seen with my own eyes. You know what I mean? Like pictures, videos don't do him any justice. He has it all. You know what I mean? And that's how I chose him. I had a few options. I had a few directions that I kind of wanted to go. But having Moon, when you have a dog that's as good as Moon, I'm gonna brag on Moon, you know what I'm saying? Because she is bad. She's no joke. When you have a dog that's that good, I could have bred her to anything and probably got a pretty good dog out of there. You know what I mean? But Zorro was, in my eyes, the best of the best. He was something that he had everything that I needed. I couldn't pass that up. He was a good amount of defensive drive, good prey drive, good size, good bite, good bone, good, yeah.
Is that true about the Bulldogs? Some of them be having hip problems?
Yeah, but see, Zorro had his hips tested. That's another thing, that he was hip tested, health tested. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't really have to worry about that too much. You know what I'm saying? And my dogs will be all the dogs on their yard are super structurally sound, super smart. I mean, you go in their yard and you can just see it, man. I mean, all the dogs in that family. So that was important to me. Plus, he had, like I said, he had everything that I needed in a dog. I wasn't really concerned with him being an American. I was happy that he was an American Bulldog. That's how I got started. I wasn't really concerned with that, but he had the size, he had the toughness, he had the intelligence, he had the defensive drive, the prey drive. I needed those. I needed that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Everything else was kind of like, what breed he actually is. You know what I'm saying? After that didn't make it. As long as it's not a breed that has an underbite or some, you know what I'm saying, something like that. You know what I'm saying? But a good, clean, healthy dog with all those things, that's how I decided. And he was the best of the best at that time when I was getting ready to breed her.
So when Zora and Moon got together, what's your trick for anybody out there? I'm trying to learn it myself because it's a gamble. Do you have any superstitions or tricks that you use for your keeper puppies? It sounds like Soma was your keeper
puppy, man. Right?
Do you have a little ritual? Yes. How did you come up with that? I'm trying to find out myself.
So this is what I do, right? So I do have a vision of what I'm trying to create in my head, and we'll probably get to that down the line. I do have a vision of what I'm trying to create in my head. So there is certain things that I was kind of looking at as they were growing up. I was hoping that I was hoping that one of them ears went up like Moon, kind of. But that was like the last of the things on my list. But what I do is at about 3 weeks, I put them in the car, right? I put the whole litter in the car and we go drive, right? We do this about 3 or 4 days. Who's handling this on day 3, day 4 the best, right? I noticed stuff like that because in my real life, my dogs go with me everywhere. You see my dogs with me all the time. I need to understand who's comfortable here, right? About 4 weeks after they get shots, we go swimming. You know what I'm saying? We're swimming every day. This is at 4, but this is early. Who's handling this the best, right? You know what I'm saying? They all can swim. They all swam and everything. Who after the 4th or 5th time is loving this? Who after the 4th, 5th time is comfortable here? You know what I mean? So then we do other things. You know what I'm saying? At 8 weeks, I had them out at the park, and some people walk up to us, and Moon goes crazy. She says, "That's far enough. Y'all came far enough." Well, 2 or 3 puppies are doing that too. I'm like, okay, let me see who's doing that. You know what I mean? Let me see who's doing that now, right? So now I put them in situations. Hey, come knock on my door. You know what I'm saying? Or come knock on my garage door, and I kind of just watch them and see who's doing it. I kind of because these are the things that I actually need. There's some things that are happening also. Some like dogs that are dominant, and some dogs that are more this or more that. But the thing that I'm looking for, the things that I actually need for my, if this was like a public dog I was trying to sell, then it'd be a different test that they go through. But for me, for what I needed for me was these things. So I was able to keep them long enough to kind of see that. I was also lucky enough to place some with some close friends, you know what I mean? So I can kind of like watch them go. So Soma is my keeper, but I probably have 10 dogs from Moon, you know what I mean? Like out in the world that I'm super close to, you know what I'm saying? Between this litter and her last litter.
How old is Soma? How old is he?
You say what?
How old is
Soma just a year. He just under a year last week.
Oh, okay. So he around the same age as Mother. Okay. How old is his mom?
Moon 6.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So
she's 6. She's had 2 litters. She'll have her last litter this year.
Now, so I got a lot of questions, and like I said, I just like to learn, man. Shout out to Lamont, RogueWolfProject, teaching me a lot, man. So your dogs, you got bull herders, you got band dogs. For a person that's looking for a puppy that want to come to you, that want a working dog, you got the personal protection dogs? Can some of your litters also excel at sports and also like hunting as well?
Oh yeah, see, yeah, I hope that I could get them in hands of like sport people, hunting people. Someone could hunt for sure right now. You know what I'm saying? Someone could hunt for sure. His two of his brothers, I know for sure can hunt. They can. But me personally, I just don't do any of that stuff. You know what I mean? I'm not social enough. I'm not a super social person, so I don't do the sports stuff. So I train. I understand what they have to do to be in like certain sports, right? So I'll train for some of those things, right? Because some of those scenarios are useful for me, right? Yeah. I don't have someone jumping through a window that's on fire to go. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got them doing nothing. That's probably never happened in my life. You know what I'm saying? But I do know that for sure around fire, he's fine. I know that he's not afraid. He's not going to be afraid of fire, fireworks, gunshots, things like that. You know what I mean? But so I kind of like just train towards the things that pertain to me, really. You know what I mean? Like I said, what I mean by this, like a lot of people train towards things they see all the time, right? And that's okay for them, but for me, it would be a waste of time. You know what I mean? So could they? Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I trust that. So there's a litter. There's another litter. It was a Belgian Malinois. That litter, could they hunt? I don't know. They're a little lighter than this litter. But this litter here, They definitely could. Yeah, they got the size, the bone, the meanness, the toughness. They could definitely hunt.
From that American Bulldog line, right?
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
Yeah, they're still super athletic, super high drive. I mean, there are things that Moon can do because she's 45, 50 pounds that Soma is doing at 90 pounds. You know what I mean? Like they're still super. Yeah,
What's the one that's in the tree right there? Is that Moon or is that Soma?
I can't see it. I don't know, but they both got in the tree.
See, okay, because
yeah,
we got like Whitefoot. Yeah, because I took a picture of dog. Hey, he got man muscles.
Oh, that's Soma. Yeah, that's Soma. Yeah, that's Soma. Yeah,
he all muscle too.
He can hunt.
90 neither. Good.
You say what?
He don't look 90, but he got all those muscles make him.
Oh yeah. Like I said, man, I treat them like I treat me as far as like their health, their nutrition, all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I like to be in good shape, so they're in good shape. You know what I mean? He's 90, but he's a good 90 because we have, like I said, it's not really for show. Really, it's for my real life. You know what I'm saying? So he needs to be in good shape for our real life. He couldn't survive on this yard if he couldn't get in shape, stay in shape, be healthy at that shape. You know what I mean? So for me, say like a bull mastiff, it probably wouldn't survive on my yard. You know what I'm saying? It probably wouldn't survive with me. So I wouldn't incorporate that. You know what I'm saying? Unless I would never incorporate something like that. You know what I'm saying? It couldn't survive with me. But
that's a good. 90 is a real good weight.
Yeah.
That's because I'm thinking of what my next dog gonna be. I'm like, I might get him at 90.
Yeah, I don't. So someone could, if he wasn't exercised the way that he was, he'd probably be upwards of 100. For me, that's a little too big. You know what I'm saying? That's a little too big for me. You know what I'm saying? Because he has to be in my car. I got 2, 3 other dogs with him. We go places. I got to be in hotels, and you know what I'm saying, like stuff. You know what I mean? So personally, my goal is to get them about 85 pounds. You know what I'm saying? 85 pounds of the heaviest. You know what I'm saying? When I'm done. But yeah, I mean, he's a good athletic, healthy 90-pound dog. You know what I mean? So.
Speaking of nutrition and exercise, what do you feed your dogs? And for the people that's listening, give them some small pointers of getting your dog in good conditioning.
Okay, so my dogs currently eat Sport Mix. I don't remember, it's a black bag. But the reason for that is Moon and Soma were really dry, right? They're black dogs. They kept having really dry skin, right? So of course my dog food is good dog food as far as like the ingredients in there. Like I really pay attention to that stuff, and I'm sure most people watching this I won't say that if you're watching this and you're new to this, really pay attention to the ingredients in your dog food, the protein and the crude protein that's in your dog food. And so in understanding that, when you go and learn that and understanding that, I know, okay, if I feed my dog something with beef in heavy beef, right? It takes a little bit longer to digest that, right? So I can't feed him that tonight and go hike tomorrow, right? I'd have to so timing when you feed them to kind of burn it off plays into it. So I'll feed my dogs. I'll feed them if I know I'm going hiking tomorrow morning. I'll feed them this morning, right? And then they won't eat till we get back from hiking tomorrow morning, right? So they're going to burn off all that food that they had on their stomach the first day when I'll refill it. You know what I mean? So I feed them, I don't overfeed them. I feed them just about the amount of calories that they need, maybe a little more if we're working a lot that week. If we're out a lot that week, they might get a little bit more, but they get it just about what they need. I don't feed them like we feed kids in America, right? Just because it's there or something, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I really keep my dogs in good shape. Is I feed them as if they were diamonds, you know what I'm saying? Not just dogs, you know what I'm saying? So I feed them enough to work it off. Time and pays into it. If you feed your dog a lot and he sleeps the next 2 days, that food's just sitting there. He's not burning any of that off. You know what I'm saying? So they get just the amount they need, maybe a little bit more if we're busier. I will, if I can, in certain times, if I know we're about to have like a good month of like heavy working, then I'll use certain supplements. I'll use Dine or something like that every once in a while. But for the most part, it's just a good diet, right? Find what dog food works for your dog. The sports mix worked for mine because it was oily, right? So my dog's skin wasn't as oily. It wasn't as dry anymore. Moon and Soma's coat looked so much better. I just needed the oil in it. It had a good amount of protein. So now I got to figure out how many calories it is, how many they need per the exercise or the life that they're going to live, and it just keeps them in good shape, man. It's not a, it seems like a big deal, but it's not. It's super easy to do. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who's watching this can start today. Most of your bags of dog food will tell you how much to feed your dog on there. You kind of tweak it a little bit, right? But you can look at your dog and say, okay, his coat is dry, or he's having like this issue or that issue. How do I solve that? Start with your food and work your way from there, and then kind of like, feed the dog according to your real lifestyle, and your dog can be in shape just the same way as mine. I mean, of course I do flirt pole, I do a lot of walking, a lot of running and stuff like that, but it doesn't take a whole lot to get them in good shape.
So you would say as far as the being in the shape that Soma is in per day, like 30 minutes, 15, 30, 45,
So
what do you think?
We do about a 5-mile walk every day.
That's in a 1% club, because I work my dog too. Like I walk, I probably average like 20,000 steps a day. Like I really,
yeah.
I'm understanding you. I'm just trying to get it for the people that may not can be extreme like that.
So building a flirt pole is easy to do. The flirt pole with someone maybe about, I'll just kind of like do it until I can see him kind of wearing down. You know what I mean? I'll do the flirt pole with him. I'll do the spring pole with him. I have him pulling weight now, but the biggest thing that got him into shape is just the walks, man. You know what I'm saying? Like the genetics kind of put the muscles there. I just have to get the fat off of them, really. You know what I'm saying? And the walks really do that. Then I can like build muscle with, flirt pole or spring pole, which these things are easy to build. If y'all are out there and you're watching these things are really easy to build. And if your dog has any drive for that thing, then it's an easy way to exercise your dog on days when you don't have the energy to go for a walk or something like that. You know what I mean?
Raining outside or snowing or something.
Yeah.
That's some good information. Now, so you say your dogs is super versatile. Now I'm looking on your Instagram and you have a Pressa Mal.
Mm-hmm.
Would you call that a bull herder too, or what would that be called?
I would call her a bull herder. You know what I'm saying? I would call her a bull herder. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay. So who's the sire? Is it the Pressa?
The Pressa is the sire there, and the Mal is the mom on that one. Yeah.
You keep it small because that's, of course, the pups can only grow but so big if the female. If it was the
female,
the dogs would be bigger. For those who don't know, if the dam, which is the lady, is the Pressa, the pup's gonna be bigger. That's just genetic.
Yeah, because they'll be at least her size. Yeah.
So for those who didn't know that, they'd be like, oh yeah, no, it doesn't. You have to.
Yeah. And again, in that dog, because I had her and a few of her sisters. In that, I didn't breed her, by the way. She's bred by Heather Reese. If anybody y'all are watching this, but at the time, my dogs were turning out so good that I was saying I'm never getting another dog from nobody else. I'm just breeding from my own stuff, and from here on out I am. I'll just kind of like breed, either I'll breed Soma or I'll breed. You know what I'm saying? I'll probably never have to get another dog from anybody else to keep what I'm going. But she was just such a nice dog, man. That and it wasn't about what breeds were there really. It was about she fit all the things that I needed in a dog. You know what I'm saying? Super defensive, super smart, super athletic, super high drive. You know what I mean? Like I had her sister, if they were to fight, her sister would probably win the fight, right? But her sister could do none of the other things that I needed. You know what I'm saying? And this one would still fight. You know what I'm saying? She just didn't quit. You know what I'm saying? But the sister had none of the other things that I needed. And I got some plans for her for Apollo. You know what I'm saying? I think she's going to be a super, super good dog.
So that's amazing. So how is your dogs? Are they dog aggressive?
Yeah, man. So,
how would you recommend a person that say one or two of your dogs? Is it same sex? Would you recommend? Can you break that down for the people?
So Moon tolerates other dogs. Like I said, Moon is brilliant. You know what I mean? She's brilliant. She understands, okay, he don't want me to kill this dog. Because if I did, I would kind of lead her into that. You know what I'm saying? If there's a dog in my yard and I want her to go get it out of the yard, she knows that I would tell her to do that. So if she sees a dog here, she tell that dog, don't come up to me, right? But I ain't going to kill you, right? They could be out playing, dogs can walk by. long as dogs don't really approach them, they're fine. Now, if a dog approaches Moon, she'll kind of show her teeth and wait for a cue from me, unless the dog is tripping. Soma, no cues. He ain't waiting for no cues from me. He's just going to kill it, no matter if it's a boy dog, girl dog. He don't care. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Okay.
So him, I would say he could not be around other dogs, but the other dogs from the litter, they're all around. He's the only one like that. You know what I mean? He's the only one. The other dogs are all around other dogs, and I think they get that from Moon.
I like that though. But
Yeah. I don't mind it. Yeah, I don't try to solve that, because, like I said, if he was I was training on somebody else's dog, I would try to solve that. But for me, that's never a reason for anybody's dog to come up to me. You know what I mean? So, and if it does, it's probably a problem. I mean, he can, you know what I'm saying? He gonna, you know what I mean? But
out in the mountains, and a coyote or something might try to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know, and which has happened. They chase away coyotes. They chase away bear. You know what I'm saying? So it has happened. You know what I'm saying? So
protection, man. Yeah. That's what's up. We would my Rogue Wolf Project. He like I said, I'm learning a